I'm really sitting on the fence with it. I mean,
As are many people.
he hasn't shown a lot. He hasn't. I mean, I know he's taken on a guy called Angel Fernandez, is it? Who's been working with Isaac Chamberlain and stuff like that. So he's taken on a pad man. That could be a benefit to him. It also could massively work against him because you're changing. Well, there's two voices, and you know if McCracken's in there, and he's trying to stand on the outside and give him instructions, but the way Angel's teaching him is to drop his height and fight a certain way.
Whose idea would that have been, do you think?
I think it was AJ's. I think he was bringing, he
said he wanted to make changes.
He wanted to make changes. I mean, they haven't made it public, but that is what I know is the case, and then it depends how much Ruiz wants it. You know, he's got a big paycheck. You know, this is life changing.
Essentially, Shane, you're sitting on the fence.
I'm gonna say Ruiz beats him.
Ooh, okay. On that note, that is it from us this week. Shane will be joining us on the podcast, so make sure you download that on iTunes, which will be available later today. Thank you very much, chaps. See you next week.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Yo, my dance, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So we just heard there from one of YB's exclusive sources. That's what we do. Ain't no one listen. People can talk about whatever they want to talk about. Ain't no one got this link. Ain't no one got this deep information. Yeah. YB, Hatman listened to your video and now he's got it. Listen, if anyone else has it, it's because they listened to the YB first. Yeah, no doubt. Anyway, let's cut to the chase on this one. So we just heard there from one of YB's exclusive proprietary sources, definitely not from Sky News. But anyway, the source alleges that AJ has on the sly added a trainer called something Fernandez, Angel Fernandez. Now, I ain't never heard of Don, if the truth be known, and I've done a little piece of research on him, and apparently he's involved with Isaac Chamberlain and another person called Sultan Zorbek. Now, if the truth be known, after June 1st, those are my dons who follow the channel. You know that I had some reservations or in fact, I've had reservations about McCracken and his ability to get the job done, or not. Even it's not even about getting the job done. It's about turning AJ's genetics and turning AJ's person into the best fighting machine. I've got questions about McCracken. I think AJ was better under Tony Sims. All of a sudden, what we do know is Tony Sims has surely disappeared, has he not? Yeah, and there is a pretty strong correlation between Tony Sims disappearing and AJ slowly deteriorating and things just changing. AJ was never trying to do all this droppy and backing up stuff before Tony Sims. The minute Tony Sims left, it could be pure chance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Tony Sims is the be all and end all. I'm just saying that there is a pretty strong correlation between Sims disappearing and AJ's mentality and form. Like, as an example, like Conor Benn isn't the most talented fighter, isn't the most genetically gifted fighter, but he gets in there and he gives it a good go. That's what AJ used to have. Does that make sense? He'd get in there and get stuck in, no matter what, win or lose. And as it happened, he won because that's what he was good at. Now all of a sudden, Tony Sims ain't working with him and he's lost that. And Tony Sims, to be fair, he comes from I believe, don't quote me on this, but I'm sure his Charlie Sims or something like that. He's got a dad. He comes from a long line of that kind of thing. McCracken don't. And the reason I bring it up is just to say that I've never personally met Tony Sims. What I'm saying is, I'm just assuming that when you come from a long line of trainers, you pick up on things. You pick up on that old mentality of it's not just the physical coaching. You got to get the mental side right. And I remember, as an example, Carl Froch for the George Groves rematch. What happened to him? He had to bring a psychologist in, which tells me that's Rob McCracken's best example. And he had to bring a psychologist in. You didn't hear Mike Tyson in the 80s needing to bring a psychologist in. Do you know why you didn't? Because Customato, and not just Customato, but all the great trainers, they had that stuff in the bag. They understood that that's more than half of the job. Why are you bringing in these fruity ass psychologists for? You should be doing that, McCracken. That's your job. So it's worrying that's the case. And anyway, my point is, the reason I've talked quite a lot there about Tony Sims is just to say that I'm not sure why they're bringing in some random ass Don who's, I'm not being funny, Isaac Chamberlain, what's he doing? Let's call a spade here. So wait there, you've brought in a man who's training a man who don't know what he's doing. Does that make sense? As an example, if Chamberlain was like some up and coming phenom, then I'd be like, you know what, I get it. Isaac Chamberlain is the most gun-shy fighter going. Does that make sense? Why would you want to work with a trainer who trains the most gun-shy fighter in history? Chamberlain got in there with Okoli, big heated fight, similar to what AJ versus Ruiz is. What happened there? Completely bottled it. Chamberlain bottled it. Yeah, didn't turn up even a bit. Didn't even turn up a bit. Now that said, I'm not even sure if I know Chamberlain changed his training team. Either way, I'm not sure. All I'm saying is, I don't know this man, this Angel Don, Angel Fernandez. I never heard of him, and not that my casual self would necessarily have heard of you, but look at the resume. What resume you got? No one. There's no one on there. Yeah, this needed. I'd rather you get a buzzword, get a buzz name in there. Now I might be wrong. Like always, I'm just giving my uneducated, casual opinion. It might be the case that this Angel guy is the real business, and if so, hats off to him. And I do hope it is the case. I trust. Well, I'm not going to say that actually, but I hope that listen. He's been in this game 10 years. He's not a virgin. He's not new to this game. So I assume that his judgment or whatever, his $1 million training team judgment is going to work out. So in that regard, I'm just a casual, simply giving my opinion, but on the surface of things, at skin deep, it don't make much sense to me. Why don't you bring Tony Sims back before you worry about bringing in all these other random dudes who ain't really done much? Does that make sense? Go back to yeah. I don't know, man. Listen, end of the day, we're only literally 5 weeks today, and it's gonna be popping. It's gonna be kicking off. So I don't have to. I'm getting tired of talking about this crap anyway. If the truth be known, but it won't be long now, and we'll be there. So where we go from here is, there's not much. At this particular point, I could sit here and say this and say that, but ultimately, it don't really matter now. We're 5 weeks away. Whatever hasn't been done now, or maybe you got another week or two of changing things, but 2 more, even then, now, they ain't going to make much difference. And I assume that this Angel guy has probably been there for a while, but ultimately now, no, there's nothing I can say, nothing anyone else can really say. What's not there is not going to be there now. Yeah, I remember back in June, I was much more passionate. Probably even last week I was much more passionate, but I was much more passionate, thinking that, as everyone does, the reason a lot of people give their opinions is because they think they can make a difference, or at least that's what I think. I come on here, I never know, maybe something I say resonates with someone, etc, etc. Now, 5 weeks away, it's all in there. It's going to be what it's going to be now. The training they're doing is the training they're doing. No one's going to rear off course. Does that make sense? So all we can do now is sit tight and see how it plays out. I'm still, you know what? I'm actually, I refused. Like I refused to even think about the possibility of losing. But in my head now, it don't even matter, because even if I've actually been thinking about this, and I've mentioned it a few times in my videos actually, but I've said that sometimes in life, and I've speculated that maybe AJ is one of these people. Sometimes in life, you have to make the jump yourself, and Hatman said this as well, and I actually agree. But I think that this might be one of AJ's Achilles heels. This whole McCracken business, I'm just not feeling it whatsoever. Not feeling it at all. Just not. Now, as I've said before, listen, if he comes through on December, not just wins the fight though. This is what people don't really understand here. AJ shouldn't be just winning against Ruiz. I don't think he appreciates the. Yes, Ruiz is a good, solid fighter, but he ain't no all-time great. AJ, in my opinion, why be you a fan go? Oh, you suck AJ off. Yeah, whatever. Bottom line is, AJ is he has all the gifts, all the raw materials to be an all-time great. That said, I just don't believe McCracken's the man to get the most out of them, to put it all together, from what I've seen. When you look at AJ's trajectory, yeah, can you sit there and honestly say his performances have got better throughout his career? Can you say it seriously? That's how it really should go, if the truth be known. Because he was very green at the start as well. It's not like he started his professional career and he had a whole lot of experience. He still shouldn't have got to his... People talk about him not having many fights. He should be improving. Now, don't get me wrong. His level of competition has improved. But these guys... Povetkin's old as you like. Does that make sense? Pricey, shot to pieces Pricey, put Povetkin down. That weren't... Yeah, don't get me wrong. Povetkin will go life and death with Wilder as well. But what I'm trying to say is AJ's above them man there. Miles above them man there. So I just don't think that McCracken's got McCracken's got AJ to a level where he's going life and death with people who he should be just completely outboxing and or breaking them down and making them quit. I'm telling you now, AJ under a proper trainer Ruiz will be quitting on his stool. Yeah, there would be no talk of let's see if he can get through on points and let's see if what. Ruiz, and people sit there and laugh about his physique. I'm not even interested in Ruiz's physique. I'm just saying on a skills and on a skills and raw materials basis. The explosive athlete that AJ is, it shouldn't be a contest between him and Ruiz. Yeah, look historically at heavyweights. Name me one that's like Ruiz ever. There's a reason we don't observe them ever, because they're not designed. Yeah, them kind of fighters there get beat up. Do you understand that? Otherwise, you'd be able to look back at history and say, oh no, look, there's loads of heavyweights that look like that. Maybe Andy Ruiz is that great. We don't know. Maybe Andy Ruiz will go down as an all-time great. Maybe that's what's in his future. I'm just saying, AJ under the right circumstances, under the optimal training, would mow through Wilder, mow through Fury, mow through Dillian White, mow through Ruiz. Maybe that's because I'm a massive fan guy. That's what I observe. That's what I just think though. That's what I believe with the correct training. Now, that maybe that's me being an idealist. Maybe that's me dreaming, but that's just how I feel. Bottom line, no matter what, that's my personal opinion. Because we haven't seen. I remember watching AJ back in the before. Well, it must have been after 2000. Yeah, it must have been after 2008. Yeah, no. It was after 2012, after the Olympics. Yeah, when he went to the Olympics, 2012, and he did this athletic competition on BBC, and he beat all the other athletes. And that just there goes to show they were all them lot were also Olympic silver and gold medalists. That just goes to show that the level of athlete he is miles, and that you lot don't really appreciate from a sporting sense how elite and gifted he is. Does that make sense? Yeah, you man don't really get it. That's what, yeah. It's not actually about how his body looks. I'm talking about the physiology of it. He's a specimen. And specimens shouldn't be sitting there going life and death with Ruiz. That's just not how it works. That's not how, there's a reason you have, I hate to use this word, but there's a reason you have, not alpha males. I hate that word. That word irritates me, but I'm just saying from a genetic superiority point of view, there's a reason you have different types of people. Superior, inferior. Ruiz ain't no superior. That's what it comes down to. Bottom line, he's just not. And we shouldn't be sitting here, AJ fans shouldn't be sitting here scratching our head. And I blame McCracken. McCracken's the reason our superior athlete is going life and death with Mr. Blobby. I'm sorry. And if anyone, people sit there and say, that the reason we're even having to sit here and debate it is because of McCracken. Number one, has he got AJ's mind right? We don't know. Number two, has he got AJ's physiology right? We don't know. Most likely not, based on past performances. But anyway, I'm almost done with this kind of situation. We've got 5 weeks. I really do hope I'm proven wrong. Does that make sense? I don't want to come across as a hater here. I really do hope I'm proved wrong. I hope that I hope that I'm wrong on McCracken, and I hope that on December 8th I come on here and say, listen man, I've got to put my hands up on this one. Then man, that really was an anomaly. That June 1st performance wasn't a downward trajectory. They really did put a sucker move on me. Does that make sense? I'd love to come on here and say, boom, the turkey's really been chopped up on this one. I wasn't sure, because I'm not sure. I'm sitting on the fence on this one, in as much as it's either going to be a chopped up job, and I got fully suckered. Eddie Hearn, Mr. Cash Hearn pulled a leg on me on this one, or it's going to be a, what can I say, one of them ones there. Listen, anyway, I'll stop rambling. That was a bit of a rambly video there, but you man probably got the gist of what I'm saying. Ultimately, his trainer business, it's interesting conversation, but I'm not convinced on it. But let's see what happens.